Hey everybody, happy November. It is Wednesday, November the 2nd, and I am starting the stitch along on Facebook that Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch has started, Christy, and every other day she's releasing an ornament as part of a SAL that are basically 24 like Advent ornaments, and so we will be like I said, getting one every other day leading up to Christmas. I have kind of an idea of how I want to finish mine, so tomorrow the second ornament drops. I'm trying to get as far along as, or stay as far ahead as I can, and in the process I am watching Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. She has released some new Christmas stitches. Her little Christmas her Mouse Chronicles series, along with some tag ornaments. That this particular video, she's actually doing a how-to on how to finish them, which is kind of exciting. So she kind of did 2 drops on YouTube back to back. Here's a little kind of snippet of what the ornaments will look like when she's finished them. So I'm going to continue working on my ornament this evening. I don't know that I'll get done with it, but hopefully early tomorrow morning, if I get up early enough, or during my lunch break tomorrow, I can wrap this one up and get started on the second one. I am doing, these are charted in DMC. There's kind of the list, a little bit of the list there. And I'm doing a conversion using Forbidden Fiber Co-Floss. I've got all of them converted except for one that's kind of a peachy color, so I need to dig through some of my kits that I've received in the past from Forbidden Fiber and see if I can find it in one of those. But everything else is looking good so far. And so yeah, I'm going to finish the star, and then what I'd like to do tomorrow, I pretty much spent all day today kitting this up, and if you're curious, this is a 14 count Aida. This is from Fangirl Fibers. This is one of the Fabric of the Month for this year subscription. That's the Star Wars fabric. So that's what I ended up. I knew I would have plenty, but I'm starting in the bottom left corner, and then I'm just going to slowly kind of space them out. Because like I said, I know how I'm going to finish these. I just need to make sure I leave enough margin for cutting, and then, you know, for the next square over. So anyway, but they should all fit. There's 24 of them. So, which means I could do, you know, 4x6, but more than likely this will probably be 5 by 4 plus 4 more, or whatever, however the math works out. But it should work out just fine. I've got plenty of fabric to do this, and it's just, it really is like a neutral, just a pale, you know, like ivory color. It's not white. It's definitely got some, you can kind of tell there's some creamy color to it. So that is what I'm doing for the rest of this evening, and I hope you all are doing well. I hope your November is off to an okay start for you, and I will catch up with y'all later, and hopefully I'll have this one finished and another ornament started. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say was I spent my lunch hour today kitting this up, but my hope is to also participate in Black Sampler November. And I think I know the Modern Folk Embroidery pattern I want to do. I just want to make sure I have enough floss to do it. And because I'd like to use Leo and Roxy. So I've got to go through and make sure I've got enough of the color. More than likely it'll be charcoal. I just got to make sure. And if I pull from other patterns I've got like kitted up, or that I bought as a kit, that I make sure and order some more just to replace it so I don't run out. So, all right, that was it, and I will see you all again later. Bye for now. Well, hey y'all, welcome back to me and to you. It is Thursday evening. It is the 10th. So this is actually a week, I believe, after my last recording, but I included it here. I hope you all have had a nice couple of weeks. I have been so busy that I haven't had much time for much stitching, so I am just now getting back in the groove of things. Today was the start of a SAL. Since I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, I'm going to put it here on the screen for you. It is started by a couple of folks on Instagram that I am friends with, one of which I believe is also one of my Stiacher friends, and they are starting a stitch along of Marumi Crafts, Miriam's new pattern called the Afsan Sampler, and they're starting it today. And so I decided, after much back and forth and making decisions and making more decisions and changing my mind and making more decisions, that this is going to be actually my Black Sampler November stitch. So I have picked, as you can see here, it is called Pink Chocolate by Stitch Me. It's a 16 count Aida, and I've got plenty of fabric. This will actually be like the width, so I'm starting upper right corner, and I am using, these are my silks. Now notice there's also a red here. Miriam's actual pattern, she stitched in a sulky called Chestnut, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's a really deep dark reddish brown, but because I wanted to keep mine more Black Sampler November-ish, I had these like charcoal gray. There's a faint bit of purple in them, but mostly they're just a silky gray color. But I don't know that I'm going to have enough for this full pattern. I think there's about 17,000 stitches, but I had also this red, but I knew I definitely didn't have enough red. So what I'm going to try to do is intersperse it. I think I definitely want to do the flower, the big Afsan flower, mother flower in the red, but I may pick some other bands out of this as well. And this is the Farsi alphabet, so this is a true like sampler, but Farsi is read from right to left, so that's kind of why I wanted to start in the upper right hand corner, because I felt like that way I would be stitching the letters in the order of the alphabet. And while I'm doing that, I am catching up on Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings prequel. So I'm doing that. So in addition to my start, I thought I would show you a couple of things that I have been stitching over the last few days, most of which have been stitched like either yesterday or today, and I just haven't really had time to record, or I was like contemplating, mulling over things that I wanted to do, so I wasn't doing much stitching as much as I was doing thinking. But this is my Stiach catch up. I actually did this today during my lunch break for the most part. So this is caught up. This was part 4, I believe now is what we're on, was dropped last Friday. So this includes everything in part 4 that I could make out. Or I say that they gray out the parts that we've already stitched and only add in the new parts, and leave them ungrayed out. But sometimes, like, your brain, your eyeballs can't quite make out what you haven't stitched, so you kind of have to just scan the whole thing. But essentially what's new is these little flowers here, this flower bit here along with this extra greenery, the 4 little corners in these flowers, and then I believe it's this letter, the L, and then the Y and the U, and then the Y and this really elongated O here. And then this was just like a moon shape before, so now we've got a little bit more, a few more stitches on that. So, and as of right now, I don't know if this is going to say, or if this stay cool, if this is truly what is going to be. But just this top part, I don't think this is a letter anymore. I mean, I don't think it was a letter ever. It was just a little moon shape, but I definitely don't think it's a letter now. But it might be, you never know. My guess on this first part is if if at first you don't, and then whatever after that, I don't know. But so this might end up being an F, and then at, this might end up being a T, and then first, if this ends up being an F, I, R, S, and then this ends up being another T, if at first you don't, and then D, O, N, and then another apostrophe T. But that's my only guess so far. Everything beyond this, I have no idea. I mean, I really don't know any of it. But I really do like this floral, kind of samplery look. It's kind of funny because I just pulled like threads that kind of were in the palette. What I've got is like a burnt orange kind of color, or a dark terracotta color, and it's more reddish brown in the original DMC palette, but I'm liking this. And then this, it's really hard to tell here, but this was actually like a true navy blue, and my blue has got a bit of green in it, so it's almost like a dark teal. But I'm really, really digging the colors. The other one's a little more true to this 5 or 6 color palette, but yeah, I'm really, really digging it. So we'll get our 5th drop on Friday tomorrow, so I did it just in the nick of time. Got this caught up, so I'm happy about that. I really kind of thought the way this past week has been that I would end up just stitching this and then stitching part 5, kind of back to back this weekend. But I'm glad I got this in, so that makes me feel a little bit better. And again, it was another like 200 stitch drop, so it was real quick. Like I said, it was basically early this morning I got started on it, and during my lunch break today I got it finished. So I was very, very pleased about that. So I got that done, and then this is actually what I've been mulling over. So these are the first 2. This is 1 and this is 2 of Pixel Pixie Christy. Her Advent Sal over on, she's doing it every other day on Facebook in a private group. So I will put that group information, that Facebook link down below. I believe she's still taking people on, but basically starting November 1st, every other day, she's releasing another Advent, basically a 24 day Advent pattern. So what I ended up doing was, and I'll drop a picture here because the lighting's not very good in here right now, but I actually am making these into little hangers to hang on it's actually a magnetic board Advent calendar. So I'm making these into hangers to hang on the little wooden number magnets. So like countdown to Christmas, but yeah, so I'm really excited about that. If you do join the group, you will know this actually says Merry Christmas, but I just kind of wanted to change it up to Happy Holidays. Because why not? I'm not particularly into Christmas necessarily. I kind of like all the holidays this time of year. So, and I kind of feel like the Happy Holidays kind of extends through Thanksgiving. I mean, some people, it starts at Halloween. So if you're one of those people, more power to you. But to me, it includes Thanksgiving. It also includes the New Year because, the 12 days of Christmas, the Advent actually occurs into the New Year. So to me, this is kind of one of those things where it's like the whole holiday season. It's not just Christmas necessarily itself. So, and I talked to Christy about it, and she was gung-ho. She was like, do it. It is yours. Do it the way you want to do it. So, and the other thing I did was, just so you know, this is just felt. I just cut this 1 square wider on the Aida. I mean, it's just the Aida. And I just hot glued these. The other thing, though, that I did was I left these like little pockets. So they're just glued on 3 sides. I don't know that I would use them as pockets for anything. But, if you wanted to put a candy cane or, say, I'll put your scissors in there. It's a little too big for the scissors. But, if you wanted to put something to, make it an actual, Advent, where you were pulling treats out every day, you could certainly do that. But I'm stitching this on 14 count, and I'm pulling, the DMC, I am pulling a conversion using Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses that I have. But this is 14 count Aida, so the actual squares are like 1 3/4 inches. So I think maybe with the extra row on either side, these are probably 2-inch squares if I had to guess. And then the felt, I'm just cutting it like, I want to say these are like 2.5-inch squares. So, so yeah, something like that. I don't know exactly what the measurements are, but that's basically the idea, was just to make them just enough to cover up each square on the magnetic board. So this is kind of what I've been, once I got the first one done, I got the first one done in the first 2 days. Like when she dropped this on November 1st, I was done by November 2nd. This was the one dropped on November 3rd, and I got part of the way there. I probably got 2/3 of the way there. And then I started trying to think about what I wanted to do with these. I knew I definitely wanted to do some kind of ornament something, but I didn't know what. And because they were Advent ornaments, that was kind of my thought, was to try to work this into an Advent calendar. So the one that I happened to find, like I said, is magnetic. I found on Michael's website, and it kind of matched the dimensions that I wanted. Or what I thought I wanted, but until I got it, I didn't want to go any further, because depending on whether or not the magnetic calendar I found met the dimensions I wanted, and then once I started stitching these, would these fit within the dimensions of the calendar? And they did. So once I got these first two done, it was great, because I actually had some a couple of other Advent calendars that I saw at Target, kind of in like my shopping shopping list, to-go list, because I thought if the one at Michael's, that when it came, because it came by mail, I was going to take it back to the store if it wasn't what I wanted, and then I go to Target and see if I could, take a couple of these with me and see if I could find something. But the one at Michael's worked out perfectly, so that's where I'm at. So, yep, so the rest of the evening I'm going to be stitching on the sampler, and these I'll try to catch up this weekend, I believe. So today's, what did I say? Today's the 10th. So tomorrow will be another drop. So I've got first, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th. So I've got 3 more. I'm behind, and there'll be one more drop tomorrow. So hopefully this weekend will be a nice, relaxing weekend, and I get some more of these stitched up. They really do not take that long. Like I said, this one I got done in the 2 days, no problem. It was just, I've had kind of a really hectic weekend, week since basically last Wednesday, and weekend. Just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. You've got trying to make plans for the holidays yourself, and things going on household wise, and it took a lot out of me, and then work on top of that. So I'm just kind of getting back around to getting my stitching back as part of my routine. So I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next one. Bye for now. Well, hey everybody, how's it going? It is Saturday, the 12th of November, a little after just the early parts of the afternoon, and I realized I had a bunch of mail that I hadn't opened, and I thought you all might appreciate opening it with me. It's been an interesting start to the weekend. We got the big cold front through here, so we are definitely in what we would consider winter temperatures now. It was below freezing last night, and I think it's going to be below freezing probably again tonight, and then the lows will definitely be in the 30s, probably for the foreseeable future. Maybe creeping up to 40 in the overnight temperatures, but yes, we are definitely in it, and I'm so happy. So, and I've got my mug of tea over here, so if you see me reach across, please excuse me. I'm just getting a drink. So anyway, so let's start with the mail, and then I'll show you some of the things that I've been working on, and then we'll wrap things up for today. So what I've got here is my Fortnite Fabrics Fabric of the Month. I've got a couple of orders from Lindy Stitches, and I've also got my Fangirl Fibers monthly subscriptions. So here is the Fortnite Fabric. I get the Romantic. This is called Happily Ever After. This is a 32 count linen. And it's a real pretty silvery gray with a little bit of blue on the ends. So that's real pretty. And then it even kind of gets a little bit of yellowy brown in there too. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then in addition to that, I get the ornament cuts, which I get 18 count, and I've been using these like bananas every time I get them, so sorry. So I was trying to decide. I have a ton of fabric built up in my stash now, so I think if you all are familiar with Derek and Christian with Fortnite Fabrics, they restart or reset their fabric subscriptions at the beginning of every year. So I haven't really seen any like formal announcements from them yet, but I'm sure it will be coming as to themes for next year and everything. So I don't know what they have planned, but my hope is that they will at least keep the ornament subscriptions, because I absolutely love these. But I don't need any more like large pieces of fabric, at least not for a while. I've got plenty of colors, plenty of options. I just need to figure out what I want to do as far as working down the fabric that I have. But anyway, so these are the ornament colors, which are absolutely pretty. This is teal blue, and then a tan, or almost like a tan yellow color, and then this real pretty spring green. So these are going to be great for, like, this would be a great winter fabric. But these combined, seeing the three colors, very much speak to me like Easter, like spring. So that will be very exciting to be able to use those for hopefully spring patterns here after the first of the year. And then, so one of these is my Bird Crush Club for the month. So we'll do that one first. I was trying to figure out, because I've already seen somebody open theirs. I think this is November's. So I think we only have the one left. But it's the Violet Green Swallow. Very, very pretty. And of course we get a Threadworks floss to go with it. Oh, so if I'm going to guess, it's probably over here in the little section of... Yeah, it is the color that is on like the little decking, the little wooden portion of that. So there's that. And then of course we always get cute little stickers of other images taken of the bird. And then we also get a little card from the photographer Chris describing or giving us some additional information about the bird, and then a little just letter from Steph. And this one does mention that next month is our last installment, so this is November, so we have one left, and that the subscription will automatically end at the end of the December shipment. And I guess she was asked quite a bit about what's next, and she said she wasn't sure. And And I know she's mentioned on multiple occasions she will be releasing these. I don't know if they will all be together or if they will be in separate individual patterns for sale, but I know she's going to be releasing these to everyone, to the public, probably in the coming year. And then in addition, she kind of mentions in her little letter here that she says, I'm definitely not done bothering Chris or the club, though, so keep your bird-loving eyes peeled for future club news. This year's birds will be released in 2023, so if you missed any birds, you'll have another chance to snag them. So it sounds like she has some plans for some future birds as well, so that's exciting. And then there might be another one of these in my other order from her, I don't know, but if you aren't familiar, she is the kind of the main person behind the Jingle Ball, which is an online holiday retreat that first weekend in December. And if you follow Steph on YouTube or on Instagram, you know, any of the social media, she's put out she's put out a video about it, but she's put out a couple of her like floss tube videos where she's mentioned it as well. And there are 12 designers involved. I don't have the list in front of me, but they're all designers you're familiar with or have heard of. So it should be a lot of fun. And like I said, it's a virtual thing. It's kind of like, I said a virtual retreat. It's almost like a virtual market. But yes, retreat, because there are classes that have been up for sale that have completely sold out over and over and over again. But there will be patterns to buy from the designers, you know, holiday ornament patterns and stuff like that. So that's all really exciting and something to look forward to. Oh, yes, and then I got another one in this one as well. And this is a separate order that I placed because in her last, Steph's last, I think it was her last floss tube, she mentioned she did her, I think this her fourth and final Cats in the Garden. She did one each season, and I think I have them all. I might be missing one. I need to go back and look, but this is the winter one, which is absolutely adorable. And then she had her December Down Under patterns that I also wanted to get, which are basically the Aussie and Kiwi, you know, Australia and New Zealand animals celebrating Christmas, you know, holidays down there, because of course it's warm. So like the little Kiwi on a barbecue grill, and the cassowary on the beach, you know, those kinds of things. So so yes, very fun, very festive, and I love Stephanie's like kind of style when it comes to doing something fun and different, not so serious. So yeah, I definitely had to get those. And then in addition, she had, now this one I think has been out for a while. I don't know if you can see that or not. Little bird sticker. But then this one is, there we go. This one is actually supposed to be the two little birds right here. And if you go watch her latest YouTube, if I can remember, I'll put the link to that specific video in the drop down below. She talks about these two particular birds, and they're just absolutely adorable. So yes, so that was my other order from Stephanie. So a couple of stickers and then my patterns. And then sorry for the reach. This is my Fangirl Fibers, which this is, I do the Disney, I do Star Wars fabric, Ada fabric, and then I do Disney needle minder and silk set. Hold on just a second. Okay, I kind of forget there's more packaging in here inside, and I didn't want to have to sit here and wrestle with it on camera. So this is my fabric, though there's not a tag. There's normally a tag. On the fabric itself, and I always get a fat quarter of Aida. I'll kind of show you because I've got another piece right here, but typically this is what she'll do. She'll put a little pin with the name of the fabric on it, but she didn't do that this time, so I don't know what the color is, but it's very, very pretty soft, like minty green color, spring green color, so that's really nice. A really nice fabric, so that's really good. And then typically, so this is Sleeping Beauty, Disney, and typically the silks are meant to be an inspiration, you know, colors inspired by whatever the movie is. So, so those are very, very pretty. And actually, if I were to guess, and if I can remember, again, I'll put a picture in right here. These remind me of the little, I want to call them fairies, but the ones that when Maleficent comes and puts her to sleep, or tries to put her to death with the spindle wheel. They change it to where she just goes to sleep instead, and they were kind of like her little overseers. They kind of kept an eye on her when she was young, and when she was out in the woods, they kind of kept an eye on her there. So anyways, those kind of remind me of their dress colors, because I believe one was green, one was purple, and maybe one was blue. So yeah, very much so. And this kind of reminds me of her hair a little bit, maybe. So yeah, I like these a lot. And these are really, really nice silks. These are two ply stranded silks, which are great. But if I remember correctly, I've heard a couple of people say that, when you start getting silks, maybe the first of the year next year, that they will be dyeing a 12-stranded silk, so it can be plied more like DMC is. So anyways, that's really, really pretty. Another really cute needle minder, and this is another club that I think is just for the year, so at the end of the year these will go away. And I'm probably pretty good on silk floss, and I'm definitely always good on needle minders. And as I mentioned, I will probably cut back on the fabric subscriptions for a while too. I've got plenty to use. So, speaking of silks, I will show you. I got a little bit further on my Afshan sampler by Marumi Crafts by Miriam. So these three were the original 3 colors that I picked, and I believe I mentioned in the previous little bit that I knew this wasn't enough, or I was pretty sure this wasn't going to be enough. Well, it just so happened I went through some of my other silks and found some more colors. This is going to get me pretty close. This is going to get me really close, as a matter of fact, to the yardage I need. Stitching them as two ply strands. I attempted, and I'll show you here in a second, to ply a strand, and I am going to finish the section I did doing that way, so that way at least it looks consistent. But I did want to kind of see, because the 2-ply, keeping the 2 plies together is a very, very thick stitch when it's stitched up, but it's very pretty. It's very full coverage, and absolutely gorgeous. But I was realizing the number of stitches in the chart was going to lend itself where I was going to need a lot more colors. So my plan is to use as much of the gray, the dark gray, and then the lighter grays. And as a matter of fact, this one, now this has got a bit more green to it, so I probably won't use that. But if I can find another, or if I get another gray or dark kind of charcoal color, I will definitely throw it in the mix because I know 7 will be plenty. 6 wasn't quite enough. I needed more than that. But if I stretch out plying the little section that I'm doing, it's basically the letters, the Farsi alphabet that I actually plied and did one strand. But in doing it, I realized the silk is very fragile once you ply it. So there were several times where I had to cut and stitch with a smaller piece, and then break that plied strand up. But other than that, it's stitched up really, really pretty. So anyway, so once I found kind of these additional 2 colors, the red for sure, because that was really close to the original kind of chestnutty color that Miriam had in hers. But this one also is a really pretty brown that's got some reddish color to it. And I thought it looked really, really good on this fabric. This fabric does not show really well. It's called Pink Chocolate, but the best way I can describe it is very much a neutral. It is a grayish purple with a little bit of brown. I mean, it truly is like a chocolate brown color, but that has a lot of purple and gray to it, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm kind of stalling because I've got the part I stitched, I've got it covered up. So that's what I've done. So I think I can't remember if I showed any of it that I had started, but my first night, which was Thursday night, which was the start of the SAL, I had done just this little corner bit of the border over far enough to do this first section. So this is the end of the 3rd page, because I'm working from right to left. But this is all of the alphabet on that first section. But I don't know if you can tell, and I don't want to hold it too close to the camera because I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, honestly. But I'll hold it a little bit closer. But you can kind of see there, these stitches are held with the 2 strands, the 2-ply strand. This is a single strand plied. And part of that was, as I was stitching the border, I realized I wanted this alphabet to be very crisp and very easily read, that it was easy to tell, and you can definitely see the pattern, the little 4-point, little flowers, but you can also tell how thick and full these stitches are. I did not want to lose the sharpness of the Farsi alphabet in this. So anyway, so first night was the border, and then stitching with 1 strand the alphabet, and then last night I picked up where I left off on the border and got that much more done. So this is truly the end of the page, but there is further down to go this way on this page. So and I was doing what I do best, which is numbers, and I think I figured so this is almost 1800 stitches, the whole thing, not this section you're looking at, but the entire chart is almost 18,000 stitches. It's like 17,977 or something like that. So because this is a much bigger project that I'm used to stitching, that is a lot of stitches. I've told myself there's no way I'm getting this done in November. If you ever follow or watch Miriam is a very monogamous stitcher, so she very much finished this probably within a month. But of course this is her pattern and she was trying to get it out. But I am giving myself, I'm like 200 stitches a day, and I think that will get me basically 90 days, 3 months. So I'm hoping that right after the first year, if I stay with this, which I absolutely love this pattern, absolutely love it. So I think I'm going to be good with that. But if I can do 200 a day, roughly, I mean, because on the weekends I might definitely get more done, and then during the week I might definitely get less done, might not get the 200. But I'm hoping maybe I'll be done around Valentine's Day. That actually gives me an extra kind of month in there, but that's kind of what I'd like to see done. So yeah, we'll see how well it goes. I'm sorry, I'm kind of admiring Miriam's pattern because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, so I got that much more done, and there will definitely be more progress on this weekend, in hopes of, I don't know that I'll get a page finish. That's pretty lofty. But I would at least like to get, what I probably need to do is, that was the other kind of planning on my part, because I've only got so much of this dark gray. I would like to get the top or the outside, this border goes all the way around the entire pattern. I'd like to get that border, and then these letters, the alphabet, done in the same color, if I can do it. Then after that, what it means is every other band in the pattern, I can mix it up a little bit. And it also means that, so like I kind of wanted to save the red for the large flower in the corner, in the bottom right hand corner. So we'll see if that is achievable. And then if it is, then again, just filling in the other bands, the other horizontal and vertical bands with the remaining just kind of neutral colors, just to kind of fill it in. So yeah, and I think these colors work really well, not only with the fabric, but also if you ever look at, or if you saw Miriam's floss tube, she did just a preview video of just this pattern and talked about it quite a bit. I think she showed pictures of the rugs that this pattern is designed off of, and she kind of explains the story behind the rugs as well, or the tapestries, the weavings. I was going to say some of them turn into rugs, but I don't think all of them do. I think they might be used for other things as well. But in looking at some of the pictures of the rugs that she showed, and then some of the kind of Googling that I did trying to find pictures of, in hopes of helping me pick out fabric color and floss colors. I think I did a pretty fair representative decision in picking the colors that I did. So I think it's going to be really pretty. So enough talking about that. For now anyway. So then the only other thing I got done was, this was actually last night and today I finished. This was the second Advent ornament by Pixel Pixie cross stitch, and this was Advent ornament number 3, which is just a couple of cute little candy canes. So so I'm trucking along with these. Again, 2 days I can knock one out pretty easily, and I'm not talking about a whole lot of stitching time in 2 days either. You know, like 3 or 4 hours total maybe. So that was really good to get that done. I've got plenty of fabric to get those worked on, and I am keeping all of my orts for these ornaments in another little light bulb ornament. So we'll see how much I get done with this, but this will be a nice little souvenir when this is over as well. So that is it for now. I am going to continue watching some floss tube today and working on my projects, and I will catch up with you all later on. Hope you're having a good one. Bye. Hey y'all, it's Sunday the 13th, and I am wrapping up my week, so I thought I would share what I was finishing up on this evening and show you. Right now I am actually watching the Texas Parks and Wildlife weekly kind of vlog that they do. So yeah, so I'm watching that while I'm wrapping up the rest of my week. I'll show you what I've finished today. I probably won't do much more stitching. I think my plans are to kit up some stuff and then get my journaling done for the evening, and then just kind of get ready for the week ahead. So this is, of course, my Afshan sampler by Miriam of Marumi Crafts. And I have stitch a bit more of the border. Definitely. This is the end of the third page here. So basically I kind of went past that because just to try to finish up the thread I was working on. Same with that border below. And then I believe actually yesterday may have been when I got this additional border done as well. So, and this is pretty much, if it's not at the end of the page, the bottom edge of the page, it's really close. So I got all of that done. So I'm really, really happy about that. And it's coming along really well. So my goal of about 200 stitches a day works out perfect. One of these, if I pull a single strand, I get about 100, somewhere between about 100 and 110 stitches out of it. So if I know I've stitched 2 strands a day, then I'm meeting my 200 stitch goal. And of course, you know, on the weekends, that's much easier to do than it is during the week, but we'll see if I have the opportunity to keep that up during the week as well. So got that done. In addition, like I mentioned, today's Sunday, and our next Stioch drop happened Friday night. And our team captain, Jesse of Mislaid Pages, set up a Zoom for us today, a team Zoom, so we could all kind of meet. So during that team Zoom, I got my next section done. So there wasn't really a whole, I mean, within the Zoom meeting, I got everything stitched. So there weren't that many, I think there was just a little over 200. It was like 202 or 207. So it was the 2 hearts, and then, of course, it finished out. This is definitely going to be, if at first you don't, we now know that. It's fairly obvious. So basically what happened was we got the tops of the Fs, we got the A, we got to fill in the T's, and we got the R. And then the infamous 69 that has shown up in previous patterns, and then this cute little floral border down here. So yeah, I think our meeting was about 2 hours, and so I got that completely started and finished within that amount of time. So that was actually like perfect. And we discussed our next team challenge that's due by Wednesday, and what everybody's plans were, and everybody's roles. So that was nice. And then I think I might have shown you that I finished the candy canes, but I actually fully finished the ornament as well. And I couldn't remember if I had shown you the whole thing finished or not, but I did that one. But then also today I stitched the next one, which is this cute little elf. It's absolutely adorable. And then basically I had a little bit of time left over during our Zoom. So, and all I had left to do was just like the little bit of pink, fill in the background, because that was the last bit I did. But everything else was pretty much stitched today. These are 23 stitches across, 23 stitches. So they're 23 stitches square, and they are full coverage. So if you do that math, that is how many stitches each one of these takes. Since I started and finished the elf today, roughly, I think, I did all but that little bit of pink background from like here to here in about 4 hours. So I'm going to say 4.5 hours gets you a little stitched ornament. And then also finish this one. And somehow, I don't know what I did when I was gluing the ribbon on this one, but you see how this is the way I wanted the ribbon to look, and somehow my brain wasn't working properly. And I think it was because I was doing that actually during our Stioch Zoom group, so it ended up not. And it's hot glue, so I'm pretty sure I could take like a blow dryer or something to it to get it undone, and move it around or whatever, but I'm not going to worry about it. It was the last piece of the silver ribbon that I had left, so I need to pull another. I have a bunch of like bits and bobs, ends, pieces of ribbon that have come off the ends of spools or whatever, kind of tucked in a drawer. So I think what I need to do is just go pull another color. And then I have, for the felt, I cut all the rest of this light blue of felt I have. So I've got enough for 5 more, it looks like, ornaments. So this is 3 and 4, I think. I think that's right. So I'll have 9. I'll have 9 backed in blue. And then I think what I'd like to do is, because I kind of like the non-traditional, like, you notice this candy cane isn't truly red, and it's like a pinky, you know, a fuchsia or a magenta or something. Same with his, the elf's hat. Bits in the border. So, and same with the green. See, like, this is a more traditional Christmas green, this border right here, but this green, which I don't know if you see the variegation better actually in the elf hat, but it's, the floss I'm using is called, Jade, I think. It's Forbidden Fiber. Hold on a second. It's right here. Yeah, Jade. But you see how there's some variegation to it. And it's not, again, it's not like a true, like, you know, Christmas tree green color. It's more like it's got a little bit of like a seafoam green or teal vibe to it. And I'm really kind of digging it, how it kind of variegates. And then the elf, the hat, and the little baubles on the sweater are like a baby blue, like even lighter still than this. I mean, it's like a real silvery pale blue. So I'm really kind of digging the alternate non-standard Christmas colors. So I think I'm going to go through, I've got lots of felt different colors, but I think I'm going to go through what I've got and figure out what's another non-traditional Christmas color or holiday color to back. Because I assume, if this is an Advent, that there are probably 24 of these. So that means I've got about 15 left I need to cut. And so more than likely, whatever piece of felt I pull, unless it's a lot of scrap, will probably all be one other color. So maybe I'll pull 2 other colors just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But, yeah, I just don't want them all to be, one color. And I know I've got a whole nother sheet of this light blue, but I don't want to do a whole, and I could also go buy another sheet of the blue felt, and I don't really want to do that either. I'd like to mix them up a little bit. So that is it for me, for what I've done today, and, you know, kind of rounding out my week. The only other thing I will mention is, so one of my WhipGo, plans or goals for the year for one of the previous months was to start and finish Miriam Marumi Crafts Funky Peacock, and I never got around to it. This was all pulled to do that, and I want to say it was my September WhipGo, maybe. Anyway, but because, you know, why not try to get one more WhipGo done before the end of the year, but also because this is November and this is Dee's 20 Stitches birthday month. Dee always does a Flip Dee the Bird sale on their birthday, which is the 24th. But that's our, here in the U.S., that's our Thanksgiving, which I'll have the day off work, but this is kind of a big project that I'd like to start and finish before the end of the month. But at least get it worked on while Dee, or in time for maybe even finishing on Dee's birthday. But this is the Funky Peacock, if I didn't say that already. So I have these pulled, so I think that's what I may also add kind of to the rotation of everything else I've got going on, especially because Stitch is I get that caught up pretty quickly, and this week's challenge is just kind of a challenge for the group of us, but without any kind of participation that requires a whole lot of effort on everybody's part. So I'm hoping maybe I can squeeze this in as well. Now, it's not a very big stitch. I think it's like 2,000 or 2,400 stitches, but that takes time. So So yeah, this is the other one I'm going to try to squeeze in over the next 10 or 11 days, and try to, if I don't have it done by Thanksgiving, at least get it to where the bird is visible. You know, the bird is done by Thanksgiving, by Dee's birthday. So that's it for me, y'all. Hope you all had a nice weekend, and hopefully the week ahead for you is great and either cold or warm, however you like it. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye for now.